Don't let one person's opinion of your artwork change how you feel about your artwork. Today, I want to talk about dealing with feedback about your artwork, specifically negative feedback. As an artist who constantly posts on social media, there's always that fear of what if people don't like it, or should I post this? What if I get negative reactions? What if people think I'm a horrible artist or whatever? And I wanted to give some advice to my fellow artists, advice that they can possibly apply to other areas in their lives, and also give advice to myself that I can reflect on in the future. So, what was it? A few months ago, I think it's a few months ago, my memory is off. I posted an Instagram reel that received over 1 million views. However, I eventually had to cut the comments off because, yes, I did get constructive feedback, which is different from hate. Comments were unnecessarily mean, and some were very, very just disgusting. So, for my mental health, and also I didn't want the negativity on my page, I turned the comments off. But after that, I had to archive the video because I kept getting notification after notification that people liked it. And even though it was great to see my video get thousands of likes and over 1 million views, I still couldn't get over people not liking the pieces that I showed. I still couldn't wrap my head around that people were taking this negatively, or the fact that people were trying to, I guess, compare me on a realistic level. Like, the paintings were abstract. They weren't meant to be realistic. They were meant to be stylized. I made a video clarifying what the painting meant, and I made other posts to show that, hey, I can paint better than this. However, I realized I don't have to justify my art to anyone, because if a person doesn't like a piece, they don't like a piece. Some people, after explaining the meaning, after explaining your intention, they understood it better. But for some other people, that is not the case. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Both are both views are completely valid. I'm not gonna sit there and constantly make video after video like, hey, you have to like it because this is what I meant. This is what my intention was. This is, like, how I paint. And I'm a nice person. You have to like me. No, no one cares. And no one is going to want to care if I constantly act that way, in my opinion. I'm saying this from my perspective. With that being said, I just want artists to know that I have experience in that area, that I'm not just saying this just to say this. I've been there, and I know it's going to continue to keep happening. I mention that because from my first point, I want to say that when it comes to negative feedback, or when it comes to not getting the reaction you want on a piece, understand that constructive feedback is not hate, and vice versa. When I received that video, I had a lot of comments. They were just like posting like, ew, or that's disgusting, or my daughter can paint better than that. Unnecessary comments in my head. And so some comments I had to report or delete, because when I say it was terrible, it was terrible. And there were some people be like, oh, she's just deleting comments. She can't receive constructive criticism. It's not constructive criticism to say that someone looks disgusting. It's not constructive criticism to say that you can paint better than that. It's just you being you. There are some people who are going to give you constructive criticism and be like, hey, I think you could have painted this better, or I think you should work on this. And that is not hate, by no means. And I think in receiving feedback as an artist, you need to understand that. Because if people can't comment on your piece if people can't give constructive criticism, constructive feedback on your piece without you shutting down and just being mean and angry, that is an area you really need to work on. And I'm not saying this lightly. I think you should get therapy, because therapy has helped me to receive it that way. Also, understand that yes, your art is personal. Your intention, your interpretation of your piece does not change, or shouldn't change, because of one person's negative feedback or constructive feedback. If you still like the piece, you still like the piece, and that's okay. Receive constructive feedback, you're not going to grow as an artist. You're definitely not going to grow as a person. This is not me saying that you can't have a reaction to someone giving you constructive feedback. You can't be disappointed of like, oh, does it really look that bad or something like that? You can absolutely have a reaction. However, just being so mean to that person who is genuinely trying to help you. That's another thing. Some people are going to give you feedback to genuinely help you because they are also an artist, or they also know like, hey, this might help you create what your intention was. Like this may help you actually draw or actually paint what you wanted it to be, you know? So yes, understand that constructive criticism is not hate and vice versa. Someone sending you death threats, someone calling you ugly, that is not constructive feedback. But constructive feedback can be like, hey, I think this piece looks better on you. I think this shirt looks better on you. It doesn't bring out your eyes as much as this piece does. You can still be honest and blunt without being unnecessarily mean. I am also learning in therapy is that someone's opinion of your piece and your intention behind the piece, how you feel about the piece, can coexist. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Someone's opinion of your piece, of your artwork, does not have to be the be all end all that your mind makes it out to be. It's like, in those movies where they show those blobs to people in therapy, and one person may say, oh, that looks like a cloud. Another person may say, hey, that looks like a butterfly. Neither answer is wrong. It's just how you see it. Also, as many artists say, or as a lot of people say, art is subjective. How people interpret it is how people interpret it. You are not that person, so you can't tell them what their perspective is. And your intention may have been one thing, but that's just how they see it. That's how their eyes work. They're not, even though that's not what you intended the piece to be about, that doesn't make your piece less beautiful. You can have double meanings about your piece. You can have your meaning and another person's meaning, and both meanings can be beautiful and meaningful to them. Someone's opinion of your piece doesn't have to determine everything, whether that opinion is positive or negative. Even if someone says, oh, I really like when you paint this piece, I love when you do this type of style, this style fits you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you constantly have to paint in that style. You can paint in the style that you feel most comfortable with. You can paint in the style or draw in the style that feels more like you and your identity. It doesn't have to change because one person says it is. Like, I understand with marketing and selling your artwork, like, yes, you do want people to like your artwork. You do want to make pieces that people love, but you also want to make pieces that you love as well. Like, you can make prints of that particular style that that person liked, or continue doing that style. But if you don't want to continue doing that style, if you're like, actually, I don't like that style, then okay, you're the artist. You determine how your art looks. You determine your style, not anyone else. People can say what your style is or what style fits you, but like some people have told me, no one knows you better than you do. Now you're probably wondering why I have on a different top right now. It's because I was literally getting in bed after my shower to edit and to sleep because I have to get up early in the morning. When rewatching the video, there's no sound at the end of the video because apparently my mic had died. I didn't know my mic could do that, but I didn't see the green thing blinking and there was no sound at all. Not even like, oh, you could still hear the sound. It's just not in good quality. No sound at all. And also, I didn't save the document with the rest of my points. So now I just have to wing it, which I will never do again. This will probably happen to me again because I will forget again, but I'm telling myself it won't. Okay, I think I remember one of my points now. One of my remaining points was there are 8 billion people in the world. meaning there is someone who is bound to understand and like your artwork. Just because one person doesn't like your artwork or doesn't get the meaning behind it doesn't mean no one ever will. Like I said, there are at least 8 billion people at the time of this video or the time you're watching this, which means someone is bound to think like you, to have the same perspective wise as you, and can get your interpretation. However, that doesn't, just because you found someone that agrees with you, it doesn't negate the fact that other people still might not get it. It just means both of those viewpoints can coexist. And it also means that your perspective behind the painting, your intention behind the painting, it doesn't mean it was wrong. It doesn't always mean it was poorly executed, because if someone gets it, then I would say your intention or the purpose was executed. Another point that I had to add, I'm so glad this happened at the end of the video and not majority of videos. I don't have to re-record. But don't let one person's opinion affect how you create art, whether that be positive or negative, because someone's opinion is not your perspective. You are the artist, as I've already said in this video. You get to determine what is art to you. You get to determine what comes next. You get to determine your identity. Can't anyone else do it for you? With that all being said, you're not going to please everyone. If you can't please someone by being you, what makes you think you can please someone with your art? And your art is an extension of you. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to go there, to extend your limits, to extend your limitations in art, to extend your boundaries in art. Go far. Be risky. That's what art's about, is just trying new things, trying to come out of your comfort zone, So yeah, make the art you want to create. Also, and make the art you want to create. If you're not satisfied with a piece, you don't have to sell it. You don't even have to show it to anyone. You don't even have to keep it as a painting. You can tear it up and reuse it for another piece. Make it mixed media or a collage. It's up to you. No one can make you like your own work, and no one should make you hate your own work. Have fun with your art. Be yourself. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to validate your feelings when it comes to your artwork. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you have any other video topics you would like me to go over, please let me know in the comments. Have a great day. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Thank you for watching. Bye.